needs it later. So 5.4, compound inequalities. We have and statements and we have or statements. This is the two key parts of today's lesson. All right, we're going to first start with and statements. Now, and statements are statements that has to be true at the same time. It has to be both true at the same time. An and statement could be like a real life scenario. It is expensive and delicious. It's both expensive and delicious at the same time. It can't be just expensive and not delicious, or it can't be just delicious and not expensive. It has to be both at the same time. So how that looks like for us in math is we might have a statement like this. X is greater than -2 and X is less than 1. Now let's do these two separately first. X is greater than -2. It will be some number line where you have -2 in the middle. Here's -3. Here's -1. Open circle, X goes to the right.
But would it be true because X is greater than 2, but it could also be less than 1? So like.
Yeah, so there's some numbers where this statement is true, and there's some numbers where it's not true. We're going to graph the solution set, we'll call it, okay? So what I'm just showing first is like a really long way, and then I'll show you how I would expect your answer to be. But I'm showing a longer way just to explain it. So X being greater than -2 would look like that. X being less than 1, so 1, let's say here's a 2, and here's a 0. Open circle goes towards this way. So to graph the statement, X -2 and X is less than 1, we could also see it in one line like this. -2 is less than X, which is less than 1. These two things are the same, okay? This in the bottom is also an and statement and maybe how you've shown the question. So you have to be prepared for both with the word and as one continuous statement.
Wait, can you repeat that? What do you have to like?
These are the same. Okay, these two are the same thing right here. So you need to know how to do both, okay? You're gonna graph them the same way though. So let's check it out. You're gonna have to make a number line.
Wait, I'm so confused. Why'd you switch?
Go ahead, Gabby.
Why'd you switch the sign?
Why did I switch the sign? X is bigger than -2.
Oh, so I get it now.
Sure, but let me explain it because probably someone else has the same question. That is the same thing as saying -2 is smaller than X. Since I could rewrite it like that, I could rewrite it in one continuous line, -2, which is smaller than X, which is smaller than 1. So we're going to have a point here, -2. We're going to have a point here, 1. We're going to have, here is an open circle. Here is an open circle. It has to be both bigger than -2 and smaller than 1. So bigger than -2 goes to the right. Smaller than 1 is going to the left. So in this space in between is your solution set. Between -2 and 1 is the statement true?
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas bigger than -2 and smaller than 1. So only in the space between. Anyone have any questions on how that looks or why is that so?
So, if I'm getting this right, it's like the and is like the middle part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it's like, since like x is greater than -2, it's gonna be like that way. And then since x is less than 1, it's gonna be the other way.
Yes.
Could you give us one to try on our own, like to see if like I understand it?
I will after I do the or statement, and I'll give you one of each to try. Okay. So here's an or statement.
I don't get why you made both signs less than.
So it could be written both ways, Shank. It could be written like this statement up here that I typed, or the statement I wrote here. It's up to you guys to know when I
so
write it.
You don't have to change it to that.
You don't have to change it to that. No, you're not forced to change it
You
like
have to
that.
graph x is greater than -2 and x is less than 1. So
You could, but you have to graph it on the same thing. So it's going to end up looking like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
But
so
notice, so wait a second. It's important to know over here, you could be given the question like that. I will never ask you to change it from and statement to this, but you could be given the question like that. And we need to know what to do with that.
Wait, so if you give us a question like that, we just have to graph it like on the number line?
Yeah, but there are going to be more. We're going to actually do algebra with it. But for now, we're just practicing the and, like what is an and statement? Daniel,
so-
I saw your name. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the greater and less than sign don't really matter for the and. Like it could be either way.
It does because there's a situation that I'm going to show after this where it could be all reals or no solution. We'll see that soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Or statements. Compared to and, where both have to be true at the same time, an or statement is one or the other could be true. One or the other could be true, so either is true at any time. So again, let's say you had an example, the water bottle is expensive or delicious. So it could be expensive, but not delicious. That still counts. It could be delicious, but not expensive. That still counts. An or statement only needs one of the things to be true. So we're going to have an example like this. X is greater than 5 or X is less than 2. Now, you don't have to draw it as two separate lines like I'm doing here. This is just for like your notes to explain what's happening. But X is greater than 5. You have a number line here. 5 is in the middle. X is bigger than 5, so an open circle and it goes to the right. And then you have X is less than 2, which is another number line. 2's in the middle. Another open circle, and we go to the left too, because it's less than 2. Now the question is, how does that look like all in one line? We'll make our number line again. We have a 5 here. We have a 2 here. Remember, 5 is bigger than 2, so this order matters.
Like put numbers in between?
I'm not going to tell you to put numbers in between. It doesn't really matter to me because you already have enough numbers. I know you're going to graph it correctly, but technically there's some numbers in between. You don't have to though. I'm not making that necessary.
Wait, do we do 2 separate number lines or just one big one?
One big one. 2 separate ones is just to show you how they look like separate. You don't have to do this part. This is not necessary. So
Wait,
here,
about the negative, don't you have to like combine them together, you said?
let's see how it graphs and maybe that answer your question. X is greater than 5. So I have an open circle at 5 and I'm going bigger.
Wait, why didn't you combine it?
You cannot combine or statements. Oh, that's what you were asking earlier, my bad. You cannot combine or statements like this one here.
Okay.
Only and statements can be combined. Good, I see what your question was, yeah. And then or x is less than 2. So it goes that way, okay?
I have a question. Would it be like the 2 is false because it's saying that like the x is greater than 5? And then like,
Or what, Rachel? Or what?
or x is less than 2.
Yeah, so let me ask you a number. So this is kind of like what you're asking. Is number one a solution to this situation? Is it bigger than 5?
No.
No. Is it less than 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, because it's an or statement, it would be true.
Okay.
Now, if I were to do something like that, let's say if I put 5 over here in this situation, while it is true that 5 is bigger than -2, it is not smaller than 1. So in that situation, it is not a solution.
Okay.
Mr. Tobel, let's
Yes.
say it's a problem and like the problem's like you give us like the graphing number. So each time that they're like connected, it's considered an and statement, and each time they're like separated, it's considered an or statement.
If it's separated and it has literally the word or in it, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's say you just give us like the graph line, like the just like 2 and 5, and like you see like they're in opposite directions. Like, do you know it? Like, does that mean that it's like automatically or?
Yes, you know that's automatically or. Good question. And let me just rephrase that for everyone. If you see it where it's like 2 separate pieces like that, you know this is saying, well, it looks like x is less than 2 according to this part, or x is greater than 5 according to this part on the right. So I want you guys to graph these lines. You can't really show me the lines in chat or anything, so just graph it and I'll then check your answer in like a minute. Graph this one. Let's do 6 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 10. And then over here, let's do x is greater than 3, or x is less than -4. So everyone do that for me, okay? Graph those number lines for both of these questions.
So the first one's and?
Yes. And you could tell that because it's one continuous line. That cannot happen with or statements. I'll give it
73.
I'll give it like 30 more seconds.
Should we show you our paper?
Nah. You just check your answer with mine after I do it. All right.
Well, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
The second one you gave us, I think I either messed up or like I got them connected.
Yeah, that's a mess up. Let's see how it looks like at the end, okay? Let me do the left one first. So it's bigger than 6 and smaller than 10. So at 6, it's going to be a solid circle because it's less than or equal to. At 10, it's going to be an open circle. So between 6 and 10 should be filled in, which is x. Because x is less than 10, so that should be going this way. And x is bigger than 6, so it should be going this way. And they intersect at the middle.
Wait, never mind. I realized my mistake.
Okay, good. This one over here, we have another number line where we have -4 and 3. X is bigger than 3. It's an open circle. It's bigger than 3, so we're going to go to the right. And x is less than 4. So another open circle because it's just less than. And x is smaller than 4, so we go to the left. Okay. Anyone has any questions or doesn't know what mistake they made, if they made a mistake?
At first, like I thought that I put like 3 and then -4, but then I realized it was like -4 then 3.
Okay. Yeah, you got to make sure the numbers are correct on the number line. Okay. Seems like we're pretty good with drawing and graphing these answers. Now we're going to put a little algebra into it. So I'm going to the next page. We're going to both solve and graph this. Everyone copy down number 1, and I'll show you how to do it. And then you're going to do number 2 yourself. But everyone copy down number 1, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, I'm going to assume everyone copied it down already. Now, if you look at this, this is one continuous stream. Because it's one continuous like statement or inequality, we should know that is a and statement. We should know that is an and statement. Now we want to solve this. But before we go to solve this, we're going to split it into 2 separate equations. We're going to write the first part, which is this, which is -1 is less than x plus 1. And the second part also uses the middle. You're going to double dip on the middle here. You're going to use it twice. X plus 1 is less than or equal to 7. So to start this off, you have to split it while using the middle twice, because the middle is applied to the first half and the second half. Notice they both have and. It's including the middle, just like an and statement, like a graph includes the middle. So your first step is to split it into 2 equations. Now we're going to solve each equation separately. Each inequality separately. I'm going to subtract 1, subtract 1. -2 is less than x. Over here on the left.
Wouldn't you have to add 1 to the? With the
No, it's plus
oh,
1.
you're doing it to the other
Minus.
side. My bad. I thought you were doing
Yeah.
it to the left side.
No problem, no problem. And then here, I'm going to subtract 1, subtract 1. You're going to do the same math on both sides. X is less than or equal to 6. So I have x is less than x, I'm sorry, -2 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 6. So I'm going to make a number line with the 2 key numbers here, -2 and 6. X,
Do you not
-2.
combine them?
You could combine them. Do you want to combine them? So I will just combine it because you mentioned. -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 6. Combining them is not necessary, but it might be easier for you to graph it if you look at it like this. Okay, at -2, it should be an open circle. At 6, it should be a closed circle. X is big, -2 is less than x. So that means x is bigger. So I should be going this way. And then 6 over here, x is less than 6. So I should be going this way. So they meet up at the middle here. So this would be your final answer in terms of the graphing. You could write it either like this or like this for the solving part, okay?
I thought the -2 goes the other way because of the the lessons.
That's fine. Did you write it like this, you mean?
No, the graph I did like the -2 like shade was going up.
Oh. Make sure you do it the right way then. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So, but why would it go that way?
It's -2 is less than x. So Rachel, would that make sure that x is bigger than -2? Would you agree with that? These are the same thing?
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, okay. All right, everyone try number 2. What you're gonna type privately to me is your solved one. I can't really see your graphing from here, but type privately your solved one.
We do the operators, like the inequality thing on the keyboard.
It should be right next to M on the right.
Oh, I thought.
Comma and period, yeah. You have to hold shift for it. So for like the top one, if you were to type me the answer, you could write it as -2 is less than x and x is less than 6. Don't worry about underlines. You can't really do that on Zoom chat.
But I don't. How do we get the less or greater than equal symbol on the computer?
It is in the commas and the period. It should be right next to M for you
Oh,
guys.
there it is. This here.
Yeah.
This one's supposed to be and, right?
This one's also an and statement.
All right.
I typed out what would be the previous answer if you were to type it to me in private, if you want to see how it would look like. Don't worry about the underline. You can't do underline on Zoom chat. Somebody already sent me an answer. Let me actually do it on paper so I could tell you if it's right or wrong. Ooh, notice something, guys. Something tricky happens here, so pay attention to that. Sherelle, you're good. The only thing I would say is you kind of usually like it from smaller to bigger. So is it all right if you reverse the order? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty.
like you're correct. You will get full credit for it. I'm just saying by standard, we usually put smaller to bigger.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Noah, when you rewrite the question, I think what you did is you split it up like, oh, not like that. You split it up like that. That's not how you do it. You have to rewrite both of it as 1 is less than -2x plus 3 and -2x plus 3 is less than 19. Kira, you forgot something. Oh, wait, no. Kira, wait a second. The answers are coming in too fast. Give me a second. Kira, you forgot something about inequalities that you have to remember, particularly with negative numbers. Yarnin, you got it. Rachel, your second part is wrong. Craig, your second part in your answer is wrong. Sheva.
No, I sent you like the rest of it. It like cut off the.
Let me keep scrolling down then. Sheva. Sheva. The second part is wrong, Sheva. Gabby, check your math for the first part. Check your math for the first part. But otherwise it would be correct. Daniel, yes, you should simplify when possible. And you could do something to x, that -2 next to the x. Rachel, yes, now you put the negative number, that's good.
Can I go?
No, we're not done. This is not an exit ticket. I hope no one thought that. It's just us like a halfway through. Noah, Michael, you both forgot something about inequalities. Burrell, your math is off. Yarnan, your math is off, or you forgot to do something.
Oh, you
Galit,
told me I was right.
oh, Yo, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong name. Yo, your math is off. Galit, you forgot something about inequalities. Brielle, no, that's the wrong numbers. Jessie, you forgot something about inequalities, at least for the first one. Oh, wait, no, you're good, actually. Jessie, my bad. Gabby, your math is a little off. All right, time to go over the answer. Everyone pay attention. So the first one, which is 1.
I know what I did wrong.
Good. If you caught it, that's good. 1 is negative 2x plus 3. I'm going to minus 3 on both sides. So I got negative 2 is less than negative 2x.
I didn't -1 to both sides.
Don't do that. Negative 2 on both sides. You're going to get a positive 1. You have x by itself. But what did I do? I divided by a negative. Because I divided by a negative, I have to rewrite it as 1 is greater than x. You're going to have to flip the sign. You got to pay attention when that happens. Let's go to the next one. Negative 2x plus 3 is less than 19. Minus 3 minus 3. Negative 2x is less than 16. Divided by negative 2, divided by negative 2. X is less than negative 8, but I just forgot it. I just divided by negative 2. Because I divided by a negative, I have to flip the sign. So my answer is 1 is greater than x, and x is greater than negative 8. You could combine that as negative 8 is less than x, which is less
Where's the
than 1.
problem for the second one? Not like the second one, like the second half of the first.
So you take
I
red,
like first, yeah, for the like.
that, and then your second one is going to be the green parentheses there. You retake the middle. The middle gets taken again.
Wait, Mr. Tobel, you know how it's like I was right? So
Yeah.
like, would you mark me correct if I did it like 1?
Yeah, you will get correct error. You get correct answer. It's just, that's the standard. That's like formatting. I won't take points off for formatting. So we have negative 8. We have 1. Your graph, once you graph it, you should notice negative 8 is smaller than x, which means x is bigger. And then x is smaller than 1, so x is smaller. So it should overlap here.
Wait, can you show why you flipped the sign again?
I flipped the sign because of this right here. I divided by negative 2. Because I divided or multiply by a negative.
I mean,
Yeah.
the second time when you combine it.
Oh, when I
know why you
combined
flipped
it?
the sign in the actual.
So if it's 1 greater than x greater than negative 8, if I just remove the and sign, right? Usually we like it where it's smaller to greater. So I just turned everything around, you know? So
Oh,
it's
okay.
negative 8 here, yeah. And then it would just turn into that. I just
Mr. Tobel.
turned it around. Yarn,
Only like on an or statement, can you have it where they don't meet up or like they go opposites, or can you also have an and statement where they both go
No,
opposites?
only an or statement, because an and statement both have to be true at the same time.
So or is the only time where they could go opposite sides.
That's the only time it will go opposite sides, yes.
So if I get like ever where they go the opposite on an and statement, I know I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, that could be a big key that you either made a mistake or it means it's all real solutions, which hopefully we'll cover today. If not,
No,
we'll
I didn't get that. I just like want to ask.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, if you do get a situation like that, it could be 2 things. Either you did it wrong or you got an all real solution, which it could happen. All right. Anyone else, any questions for here before I move on to the next page where we're going to practice or statements? A little bit easier because you don't have to split anything. Okay, I'm going to the next page. Or statements. I will do number 3, and I'll have you guys do number 4 yourselves. So copy down number 3. All right. For number 3, we have 3x minus 2 is less than or equal to negative 11. Or vice versa, 3x plus 8 is greater than 16. What's nice is that they're already kind of separated. So I could just do each problem separately. 3x minus 2 is less than or equal to negative 11. I just do it as if it's its own problem. Plus 2 plus 2. I get 3x is less than or equal to negative 9 divided by 3 divided by 3. X is less than or equal to negative 3. First part done. Second part, I just do separately also. 3x plus 8 is greater than 18. Minus 8 minus 8. 3x is greater than
Doesn't
greater
that
than
be
16.
16. Good catch. 16 minus 8 minus 8, you're left with 8 divided by 3 divided by 3. X is greater than 8 over 3. You could simplify that to 2 1/3. If you want a fraction, that would be 2.3 repeating. I'm going to leave it as a mixed
8
number.
over 3.
8 over 3. You could leave it at 8 over 3. The problem is it's a little bit hard to graph 8 over 3 on a number line. So I like changing it to a mixed number because you know it's like a little bigger than 2. So it's a little easier to graph for yourself. But you are totally allowed to leave it 8 over 3. I wouldn't recommend it though. So let's make our number line. So we have -3 is the smaller number. And before we do the number line, you would write it as x is less than or equal to -3, or x is greater than 2 1/3. So you want to make it one statement. I forgot to do that. So you want to write it like that. After we write it like that, we could graph it. -3, 2 1/3, it's positive, so you know 2 1/3 is definitely bigger. X is bigger than 2 1/3, open circle, we're going to go to the right. X is less than or equal to -3, so that's a closed circle, go to the left. Okay. You guys are going to do the next one. Definitely tougher than this one, but I believe in you. A hint for this one, I would multiply both sides by a certain number to get rid of that fraction. Think of what that certain number would be to be perfect to get rid of that fraction. So everybody should be doing number 4. When did this period start? The 40 or 50?
It ends at 2:30, I think.
2:30? Okay. So this will be your exit ticket. If you get it right and is your exit ticket, you're free to go. If you keep trying and you don't get it right by 4 minutes, I'll go over the answer. You have to stay until I finish that answer. So you have an opportunity to leave early if you get it right. That means you understood my lesson. And let's go put this here so I can check off what's what.
Do you multiply everything by the number, like to get an even fraction?
Just a fraction, you multiply the number. And on the right side,
So I do it to the 9 and the 1/4.
yes.
Oh.
Control H, is it? What's the, oh, my bad. Jacob, I see your answer. Give me a sec. Let me check it for myself.
Put both of the answers, like for both.
It should be an or statement. So it should be X is greater than or
We're
less
just
than
gonna-
blank, or X is less than or equal to blank. So give me a sec as I do this. 3x plus 5, 8 to negative 7, and 12.
How do you do the line under the?
You don't have to worry about that on the Zoom chat because you can't do that on Zoom chat.
I don't get how to do after -2x minus 7 is greater than or equal to x plus 5. I don't get what to do.
Well, Shank, think of it as an equal sign in the middle. What do you have to do when you have two x's?
Subtract one of them.
Good. So I would move the smaller one of the two, just like before. All right, let me check some answers. Noah, no. Sherelle, no. Rachel, you should finish the work there. Why is it negative 2x
You
is
know what I
greater
got
than the second part?
Oh,
you
I
got
meant
wrong.
to just.
The second part, I don't know how to
How do you write greater than or equal to?
You can't do the underline on the Zoom chat, so you could just write it as greater than. It's fine.
I just wrote like the sign and then I did like an underscore next to it.
I
So
see
it's
that.
not
That's
under.
fine.
Should I
Craig?
just
No. Noah? Do we simplify it to exit? I mean, simplify fractions you do, but I don't know how you would simplify a whole number like -3 or something. Yell, write your whole answer again so I could check it out. Rachel, no.
I didn't I accidentally clicked enter. I'm not done.
Okay. Jacob, give me with symbols because Gabby.
Wait, you said it was right, but I just had to simplify it, so I
No,
did.
but Mr. Tobo, I can't like do the greater than or equal to thing.
That's fine. Just do greater than for me. Galit. No. Uh-oh. Is anyone going to get the free early?
What'd you say? What'd you say for mine?
Gabby, no.
But it needs-
Yarden,
I
no.
didn't
I
hear
get
my-
it.
No. No.
I didn't do it
wrong
yet.
with that?
Rachel,
do it.
no. Shank, no. Jacob, you're not finished.
Wait,
Riel, no. Sheva, no.
Did I
Oh.
get it?
Nobody got the free early.
Wait, do I need to
bonus.
do the
Oh, I just
side
sent my
also?
answer and I never
I
did
didn't
it
do the
yet. I
other
just
side.
sent
I did the
my
other side. Let me do the
And
other
like
side.
my-
I sent my answer in. You didn't look at my
Hold
answer.
up, hold up.
I'm still
It's
doing
okay.
a
You didn't,
problem.
It's
you didn't say if I got
think
it
got
right or
this
wrong
time.
yet.
I think I got it.
Guys, it's okay. I'll just do it. Okay.
No, I never did it yet. You said I didn't. I got it wrong, but I didn't send it in yet.
Mr. Tobo,
Yarden,
right now.
I'm looking. No, 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 no. Nobody has it right. All right, I'm doing another. Nobody has it all correct, I should say.
X is greater
No
than-
one has it all correct. Some people have some parts correct. Some people have the other parts correct. So everyone pay attention so we can get this down. And if you were correct, then you could tell me, Mr. Tobel, you lied to me, and I'll be like, my bad. Okay, so here we got -2x minus 7 is greater than or equal to x plus 5. I don't like how I have two x's, so I'm going to bring my smaller x over by adding 2x to both sides.
Do you mean a
Negative-
smaller? You said the smaller x, so why are you putting?
There's no 2x on that side. Huh?
What are you talking about? It's right here.
I think you
So
should put the
then-
smaller one to the others. Oh, -2x is smaller.
Wait, I brought the other one over.
That's fine. You should still get the same answer regardless which one you brought.
I think I got it. So
I wrote it as 3x,
Is that
not
right?
3x.
I did the second part, Mr. Tobo.
Yeah, I
So
also
it should look like that. or you might have had it look like this.
Yeah, I got it right.
Either way would have been correct.
I had it X is
That's what I
greater
had.
In the wrong way.
Okay,
I had
cool.
it X.
Yeah, I didn't
How's
know
the 4
what
negative?
was going off because I did it as 3x, not 2x. So I was like,
I
one.
just
I had it as
didn't-
X is greater than or equal to -4, not one.
Oh, it's -7. I thought. Wait.
That's what I had, and now I'm really frustrated.
I'm sorry if I was incorrect in your answer.
Yeah, I had
Let's
that
check a second.
too.
Let's see if you got both parts correct. Because now I'm looking at my answer sheet and I think I made a mistake on the second part, which means I might have said you guys got it wrong when some of you guys might have got it right. So I'm going to times both sides by 4 to get rid of that 1/4. So I got x plus 2 equals 36.
Exactly, -2 to both sides, and then
Yeah,
we
I
get
got that. You
greater
said I
than-
was wrong.
My bad, my bad. It should be
Now
34.
I can
I erased my entire thing because I thought I got it wrong.
I
I got-
apologize, I'm wrong.
I got the second part
just
right,
did
not the
sign
first.
wrong for the first
I got
one.
the second part right too. Wait,
I'm so mad right
I got
now.
the
I'm
first
so
part wrong.
sorry.
I'm-
I'm sorry. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Mr. Toba, would this be right if I wrote for the first part X is greater than or equal to -4?
No, because you forgot to flip the sign. That's what
Oh,
it
so I
says.
got it wrong from that.
You get partial wrong. Yeah.
Wait, I don't get the second one.
The second one, I times by 4 on both sides to get rid of the 1/4 because I times it by the reciprocal. And 9 times 4 is 36. The inside of the parentheses does not change. So it's x plus 2 is greater than 36. Subtract 2 on both sides. X is greater than 34.
Wait,
Guys,
Mr.
I'm
why would you
sorry. I
flip
know
this?
some of you guys earned to leave early, but I didn't give it up. My bad.
One
I just like you
question.
guys too much, I guess.
Um,
Everyone
why
is
do
free
we-
to go. If you want to stay for questions, it's fine. Go ahead, someone.
Okay, thank you.
Why do we flip the sign on the 4, on the -4? Because aren't we?
I was gonna ask that. You divide
Yeah,
by
aren't we
positive.
dividing by
um,
positive?
Depending on which way you move the
Thank
x, because some people might have done minus x, you might have resulted into this part. I just wrote both to show either one's correct, but it doesn't matter which one. Like I would have written this based off my work, but the bottom one just shows that both are correct. It
What?
depends how you move the x around. You still would get the correct answer though.
No, but I have the greater than sign facing towards the x.
That's incorrect. Did you divide by -3?
No,
So what do you did? Give me the step by step.